And we are live. We are back.
All right. We're back. We're on our way. All right. So now in the first part there, we already established that Paul likes to let you know that he is a most humble gentleman. Right? And so now we're going to look at the other side of the coin when it comes to Paul. Yeah? Maybe a little?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You good? You got your drink?
Yeah, I'm good.
Coughing your lungs up? You good? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we sitting here talking forever, so they try to throw it a little bit. Yeah. So what text are we going to start with? You going to go with the love?
Yes.
You going to explain what love is real quick?
Yes. 1 Corinthians 13:4.
As wrote by Paul.
As wrote by Paul. Yes.
Yeah.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast.
What was that word?
Boast. It does not boast.
Very good. Okay.
It is not proud.
Mm.
We're going to see a lot of that coming from Paul.
I have a feeling. Yeah.
So that's what love is. This is from Paul's own mouth. So we're going to
not that we're going to use his own. Not that we're going to use his own words against him, but we're going to use his own words against him.
Right.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, so this is 2 Corinthians 11:16.
Fire away.
Okay, so here he's referring to the servants who masquerade as servants of righteousness, yet their actions show that they're not righteous.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a mask on, and they pretend to be something that they're not, right?
Right.
And he says, I repeat, let no one take me for a fool. But if you do, then tolerate me just as you would a fool, so that I may do a little boasting. In this, self-confident boasting, I am not talking as the Lord would, but as a fool.
So he's admitting that he wouldn't be talking as the Lord would talk. So he's saying, call me a fool, but I'm going to be the best darn fool there is, right? As long as it lets me boast just a little. If I can boast just a little, because I just started doing it.
Right, and then he says in verse 18, since many are boasting in the ways of the world does, or human achievement or the flesh, I too will boast.
So let me ask you something real quick. Seeing what he said there about boasting in the things of this world, we know that that's absolutely wrong, right? Why would you boast about things that has no worth, right? But if you're going to boast in the spiritual things, spiritual aspects of your life, who you are spiritually, and even in Christ, is that something that we're to do? Is that showing love to the non-believers? Or is that coming off like saying, I'm better than you because I have the truth?
No, it's coming off as I'm holy and you're not holy as I am holy.
So it comes off as self-righteous, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting out of that, is that I don't care if you're not boasting in the things of this world. Why do you care to boast at all? When even in your own writings, the Father's teaching us that love is not boastful.
It's not
whatsoever.
proud. It's not envious, which the word envious is jealous, for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is from Paul's own mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I know somebody's saying, okay, well, maybe that's a little vague, right? He's saying, well, these people do it, so I'll do a little bit just to show, that that even we have our faults. Maybe that's what he was doing in that situation, right? But
okay, even if we give him some slack on it. All right.
Right. But let's go to 2 Corinthians 11:1.
Oh, yeah, it gets better.
Yeah, I hope you will put up with me in a little foolishness. Yes, please put up with me. Verse 2, I am jealous for you with a godly jealous. I promise you to one husband, to Christ, so that I might present you as a pure virgin to him. Jealousy has no place in you if you truly have the Spirit, the anointing.
So even though there's these things like boastfulness, envy, jealousy, these are things of the enemy.
Right? They are. These are characteristics of Satan. You would say he's proud, right? You would say he's jealous, vengeful, angry, right? Wrathful, right? Those are
attributes of Satan, but he's also saying, but no, the Father has these attributes as well.
Maybe his father.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just told you, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy or jealous, it's not jealous, does not boast, it is not proud. The Father is all love, all of him.
Yep.
And the only thing
of doing anything that Satan
that isn't these attributes right here, that Paul's telling you that those are his attributes, right?
Just like Satan is incapable of having any of the attributes of the Father. They in no way connect on any level. They are polar opposites. You can't have two opposites that are farther from the same. Right?
Yeah, see, they get around it because they're saying, well, it's like the godly jealous, right? Or the godly anger. Or the godly righteous anger, right? So they put God in front of it, and then all of a sudden you're supposed to believe that somehow these bad attributes who we're not supposed to be are somehow good now. And what?
Because it's for God, for the sake of God. Yeah. It's just like everybody in the Old Testament, man. The children of Israel could go kill an entire town as long as it's God that told them.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that was okay.
Because they were God's people. And if you listen to some of our videos previously, we're going to be straight up that the God of the Old Testament is not the Father.
No way, shape, or form.
When he's telling people to do horrible things and to murder and pillage and take control of other people's lives.
That was the one claiming to be God.
Exalted himself among high and called himself God.
It's like the name Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one who wrestles with God, right? That's what it means. What God are they wrestling with, right? It's in the name. Is Ra, the sun god, Ra, Amen Ra.
Amen Ra, so reason we don't say Amen.
Is he El? Is Ra El, the god El? Are they the same?
Mm-hmm.
They were conflicted with two different gods.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time they were a people.
Yeah, these were fallen angels. What a lot of Christians don't understand because it's not taught, because there's large portions of the Bible that's been ripped out, and the church says
or translated wrong,
or translated wrong correctly, and they say they're not important in today's time.
Right?
They're irrelevant. They're irrelevant, and that's why these holy people with Constantine removed these books. If you know these books, and you can see that in the beginning, in the Old Testament, the different times it's talking about God or Lord, it's talking about other gods, which are fallen angels.
Right. El Shaddai, Yahweh, Jehovah Jireh. These are all separate entities. These are not all the same name for the same God. These are all different gods.
Yep.
That's why they were called Israel, because they were struggling with which one of them's the real one.
Yeah, fighting with God, fighting with who is God. Yeah. But we've been taught, we've been raised in churches that teach the whole word is absolutely the way that people have taught it to us, and the consensus belief is that every time it says Lord or God in the entire Bible, it's the Father. Which, then it makes no sense, because the God of the Old Testament does not match up with the attributes of the Father.
None of them.
And if it doesn't match, it's not.
And then, because, and the craziest thing is when these people say, well, their explanation for all the horrific things that, and I'm just going to call him how he is, the devil is what Jesus called him, done these things in the Old Testament, they excuse what he'd done by saying that, well, he's God, he can do anything, and we don't understand. And I would say that's correct, in that you don't understand what God was doing those things. That's why you don't understand it. You don't understand how the God can wipe out everyone in the whole planet except for Noah and be okay with that. Because you've been told the lie that the Father's the one that created all this, right?
And we're taught that he did it because they were all wicked people. But then why did he destroy the rest of his creation? Was the rabbits wicked? Was the rest of the turtles wicked? Was the deer wicked and the goats wicked?
Well, he didn't even do that, right? There was some wicked and some not wicked on the boat, right?
Well, yeah, but you destroyed the rest. How is an animal wicked? Animals don't take more than what they need.
Oh, because they believe in original sin and that everything was corrupted since original sin.
Yeah.
But we're getting off topic. Let's get back on topic about Paul. Let's get back on topic about Paul.
It took a hard
because, well, no, man. You got to understand that the attributes of love that Paul said was correct.
Absolutely.
Those are the right attributes that we're supposed to have.
And those are of the Father. That is who he is. And those words alone, we talked about earlier today, those words alone can't even encapsulate how big the spirit of the word is. Way greater than any kind of word we could, the English language or any language, can put on it. It's only the way we have to describe it is the words in our language we have, right? His love is so much greater. His kindness is so much greater than just a word or any way we would be able to describe it.
Since coming into these truths and coming into this way of seeing the word from our spirit, like we're supposed to, and letting our spirit actually tell us what the scriptures mean instead of a man telling us, which the Bible actually said don't do. That the spirit inside of you is the one that's supposed to give you revelation on what you're seeing and understanding. And that when that happens and we've come to these understandings, it amazes me now how much love the Father actually has for myself and for everyone here in this existence.
It is amazing.
It's far beyond the understanding of the church. It's far beyond.
It's far beyond even the understanding that we have, man, because in our finite mind, there's no way for us to emphasize or explain or put across to anybody the true greatness of the Father's love, the true greatness of who He is. We feel it inside, and we do our best to reach others in a way that they would understand, right? But the most eloquent speaker in the entire world of all time would fail miserably at trying to get across the point of how great the Father's love is. And that's some stuff that we were seeing today, and it is amazing. And I'm in awe, and I know you're in awe. And again, we just took a hard left, but people need to know that when we're talking about Paul and the boastfulness and the jealousy and the envy and things like this,
well, let's talk about.
He's not showing the attributes of the Father.
No, he's not. And let's talk about how, like now, loving people is not a chore.
No, it's not.
And it doesn't become burdensome. And it's just it's just who we've become, right? It's our expressions. Yeah. It's like I constantly I'm at work and I'll be just standing there at work and smiling for no reason.
And you nobody to smile at. You just smile.
I'm just smiling. and you know, if anybody knew me, my family, that is not something that's common to my family. Smiling, no.
Yeah. I can attest to
it's not. I mean, come on, man. Us telling each other that we love each other, we'll talk about you before we say we love you, because that's how we say we love you, right?
You're right. Oh, we're all different. I have my mom's side of the family. We joke about how me and Dad would go to family reunions and different functions to either try to get them to laugh or just piss them off. Just one or the other, to get any kind of emotion out of them. Right? It didn't matter which. Because they're stone-faced people, man. That's who they are. And what I'm going to say real quick, we may end up turning this podcast into a couple podcasts. I don't know. Because I just felt led to say that since you mentioned already, loving is not hard now.
Yeah.
There was a time, and this is a great part of my testimony, right? Before knowing truth, before dying to the flesh and giving up the desires, I was living with a friend, and I had called Joshua, and I know he remembers this. And this has been a couple years ago now. And I was doing what I could for people, and I was trying to show love to everybody. And there's a lot of people that I had in my life at the time. And I was trying to show love to everybody in my life the best that I could. But I was doing it out of myself. I was doing it out of the flesh. And it got to a point where you give love, but you don't get love reciprocated. You don't get love coming back to you the way that you were given it, and as fully as you were trying to give it. And people aren't willing to give it back to you. And it ends up draining this flesh. This flesh don't have the resources to keep giving like the Spirit does, because with the Spirit, it's constantly coming in from the Father, right? This flesh don't have that love to keep giving and not to be replenished, and it starts wearing on you. And it got so heavy to me one night, man. And you remember this because I was talking to Joshua, and I just started bawling.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, I love people so much, and I don't want to no more.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it. I can't take it. It's killing
right,
me.
And
I don't want to do it anymore.
Right, and let's tell the people how long it took you to get to that point, because I think that's the magnitude of giving of yourself, like Paul keeps giving of himself, right?
Yeah, he was the humble man. He was giving. in my life, how long did that take to get to that point?
Yes, how long did it take you?
Oh, my gosh. Listen, I lived for myself the first part of my life up until 18, and then I got saved, fully saved at 18. Well, as what I thought at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way the church taught me to get saved. And at that point, I really, and I wasn't a hateful person. I was a decent kid. I did stupid things, but I loved everybody. Right? And I don't know if I ever hated anybody. I mean, we talked about that before. I can't put a finger on a time where I actually hated someone. But after getting saved, at about 17 and a half, I really worked hard on loving people, even people that were really hard to love. And so then when this here broke me down, when I broke it, when I was broken from it, I was already like 40 years old, right? I'm 43 now, so I was like 40, 41.
So you're talking about 22 years?
Yeah, 20 plus years of trying to do it from self, right?
And you've done it. You've done.
It was a long time.
That's probably longer than I've ever done it.
It was like I'm long suffering. That's not the meaning, but I suffer long.
Right. No, but I think it's good for the people to hear that.
Yeah.
How long that actually was, and it's not to boast. It's just to say, some people can carry a burden for a very long time, and it doesn't affect them until they get to a point where they break, right? Where it's constantly giving, right?
And it wasn't because I wanted to carry the burden, but I felt I had to because it was the control of religion, man.
Right.
Because the church says you must love, you must love. They don't say, it has to come from the Spirit. They just say
it's because they don't know that it comes from the Spirit. They haven't been transformed.
Well, because they don't believe that you're separate, a flesh and spirit separate. They don't believe that Jesus and the Christ are separate. He's all the same. He's all God.
Yep.
And so that's why they think that everything comes from this flesh. No, it can't, because it will fail. It will break down.
Yeah, I don't care how long you do it.
To where, I was loving people.
You can do it for 70 years. Eventually, you're going to break. You can do it for 100 years.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to break if you're doing all these things in the flesh.
But here's the deal: when it started getting to where when I was showing love to people, it was out of my duty and not out of true love.
Right.
And I actually, I come off as showing love to them. It was a facade, but in my heart, I was grieved and I was angry about it. I didn't do it lovingly and openly. I did it begrudgingly. Right? So it wasn't even true love anymore.
No.
It was a facade.
Yeah.
And that's because that's what religion taught me. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. You must show love. You must love till it hurts. And then love some more. But I had to get that out. I feel I fit in with talking about love and stuff and just the opposite dynamic of what we're seeing Paul doing here in the scriptures.
Right. All right, so we'll go on to the next verse now. 2 Corinthians 11:2. Did I already say this one?
Oh, which one is it, dude?
I am jealous with the godly jealous. Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah, you said that. You did that one.
Okay, it's 2 Corinthians 11:21. My bad.